A black landlord was verbally assaulted and driven off his own property in upstate New York, branded a criminal by a woman who didn't know she was spitting venom at the man who held her lease. It was 2025, the air sharp with autumn's bite, leaves swirling like accusations in the wind. Malik Dawson, 38 years old, rolled up to his rental house in Ashford in a beat-up pickup, the bed cluttered with tools that had built his small empire. He had just left a meeting with a bank, still in a charcoal blazer, no tie, sleeves shoved up to his elbows, ready to wrestle a sagging gutter before his new tenant showed. The house was his pride, a two-story beauty, white clapboard glowing under the afternoon sun, porch wide enough for rocking chairs and dreams. Malik had poured his soul into it, every nail a testament to a life clawed from nothing. A former contractor, he'd flipped his first property at 24. And now this, his third, debt-free. A middle finger to anyone who'd ever doubted him. But when he stepped onto the gravel driveway, toolbox swinging, the world turned hostile. Across the street, Claire Whitman, 35 years old, was wrestling a suitcase from her rented Ford. Her blonde ponytail whipped as she cursed the 3-hour slog from Albany. She'd snagged the listing on a whim. Ashford steel, perfect for her freelance graphic design hustle, while she pieced herself back together after a brutal breakup. The photos had hooked her: gleaming hardwood, a clawfoot tub, a backyard begging for her rescue dog Hoshi to chase squirrels. She was early, itching to claim the space, already imagining her sketchbooks on the coffee table, fairy lights strung over the deck. But when she glanced up and saw Malik, 6 feet 2 inches, black, standing on the porch with a wrench, her blood ran cold. Her eyes slit to daggers, lips curling like she'd caught a predator in her sanctuary. Malik was too focused, muttering about rust, to catch the shift. But the air crackled when she screamed, "Hey, who the hell are you and why are you on my property?" He froze, wrench halfway to a bolt, turning slow. "Just doing some maintenance, doing some." "You," Claire snapped. She didn't let him finish. Her voice ablaze. "This is private. Get out, or I'm calling the cops." The words exploded loud enough to jolt a neighbor's cat from a fence. Malik's jaw tightened, his easy smile gone. "Hold up, there's a misunderstanding. I'm Malik Dawson, the landlord." She spat, stepping forward, phone clutched like a grenade. "You're not the owner. I'm not stupid. Leave, or I'll have you arrested." Her face was a storm, red, twisted, certain she was staring down trouble. Malik felt the ground shift. That old sick weight slammed into his gut, the one that came with being sized up as a threat. He'd been here before, tailed in a Home Depot, grilled by a cop for walking his own street at night, stared at like he didn't belong. But this? His own damn driveway. It was a gut punch. He set the wrench down, deliberate, hands visible. "Ma'am, I'm telling you, this is my house. Check your lease. My name's on it." Claire's laugh was sharp, vicious. "You own this? Nice try. I'm meeting the real landlord, and you're not him. Get moving, or I'll make you regret it." The threat hung heavy, her finger hovering over her phone screen. Malik's pulse thumped, not fear, but fury. The kind that simmers when you're forced to swallow disrespect on your own turf. He could have yanked the deed from his truck, shoved emails in her face, pointed to the faded Dawson Properties stencil on the door. But her eyes, wild, unyielding, said she wasn't hearing it. "Not now." "All right," he said, voice low, grabbing his toolbox. "I'm gone. But you'll see my name. Believe that." He walked to his truck, each step burning, her glare boring into his back like a brand. She stood rooted, arms crossed, triumphant as his engine roared and gravel spat under his tires. Claire didn't flinch, didn't doubt. She dragged her suitcase inside, Hoshi bounding after her, oblivious to the wreckage left behind. The house smelled of cedar and promise, and Claire felt like a warrior defending her castle. She'd pictured the landlord, Emma Dawson, as some grizzled white guy, Maybe a retired realtor with a gut and a golf shirt. Not him. She shook it off, unpacking with purpose. Art supplies, a thrift store lamp, Hoshi's chewed-up bed, already mentally rearranging the living room. The lease sat on the counter, unopened, her signature scrawled in haste. She didn't check it. Why would she? She'd won. Malik, meanwhile, was flooring it to a diner 5 miles out, knuckles tight on the wheel. He called his property manager, Rhonda Ellis, a 52-year-old firebrand who'd been with him since his first flip. Rhonda Ellis, new tenant, just lost her damn mind. Ran me off the Ashford place like I was robbing it. Can you handle this? I'm not trying to make it worse. Rhonda Ellis's voice crackled, sharp. She did what? I say, you okay? He exhaled hard. Pissed but fine. Just get there. He hung up, pulled into the diner lot, and ordered a coffee, strong, no sugar. The steam rose, mirroring the heat in his chest. He wasn't shocked. Life had taught him to expect this. But it cut deeper, on his own soil. He thought of his mom, a nurse who'd smiled through slurs to keep her job, telling him, prove them wrong, but don't break. Today, that advice felt like a chain. Back at the house, Claire was stacking dishes, humming off-key, when a black Jeep crunched into the drive. Rhonda Ellis stepped out, braids pulled tight, clipboard under one arm, her face a mask of professional ice. Claire Whitman, she called, voice clipped. Claire poked her head out, all smiles, expecting an ally. That's me. Hey, thanks for coming. There was this guy earlier. Rhonda Ellis cut in, no warmth. That guy was Malik Dawson, your landlord. You want to explain why you chased him off his own property? Claire's smile cracked. Her breath caught. Wait, what? That was him. Rhonda Ellis's nod was slow, deliberate. Her eyes pinned Claire like a bug. Signed your lease, didn't you? His name's right there. So what happened? Claire's mouth flapped, words tripping. I didn't think. I mean, he didn't look like. Rhonda Ellis tilted her head, unblinking. Didn't look like what? A man who owns 3 houses? A contractor who built this place from the studs up? Claire's face flushed a sickly pink. I thought he was, like, breaking in or something. Rhonda Ellis's laugh was dry, cutting. Breaking in? With a toolbox? On his own porch? You didn't think to ask, did you? Claire shrank, clutching the door frame. I'm sorry. I didn't know. I messed up. Rhonda Ellis didn't soften. Yeah, you did. Malik's too kind to say it, but I'm not. You hurt a good man today. He was fixing your damn gutters. She slapped a business card on the counter. He'll be back tomorrow. I'd figure out how to make this right if I were you. Then Rhonda Ellis turned and left, leaving Claire with Hoshi's wines and a house that suddenly felt too quiet. That night, Claire's brain wouldn't quit. She paced the hardwood, Hoshi trailing behind, as the walls seemed to close in. She saw Malik's face, calm but tired, like he'd been through this 100 times. She'd been so sure, so loud. And now every word echoed like a slap. She grabbed the lease, hands shaking. And there it was. Malik Dawson, owner, signed in bold ink. She groaned, sinking onto the couch. Hoshi's wet nose nudged her. I'm an idiot, she muttered, replaying her own voice in her head. Shrill, accusing, ugly. She'd always prided herself on being good. She donated to causes, shared posts about justice, had a black coworker she called a friend. But today, she'd been someone else. Someone who saw a black man and thought thief, without a second's pause. The shame was suffocating. She opened her laptop, typed. Malik Dawson, Ashford, New York. Half expecting nothing. But he was everywhere. A local paper profiling his first flip. A photo of him at a zoning board meeting. Another of him grinning with kids at a Habitat for Humanity build. His company, Dawson Properties, had a bare-bones site. 3 rentals. All pristine. With testimonials. Malik fixed my heat at 2 a.m. Best landlord I've ever had. She clicked a video, grainy but clear. Malik teaching teens to frame a wall. His laugh warm as he caught a kid's wobbly hammer. Comments piled up. Hudson's lucky to have him. Man's a legend. Claire's throat burned. She'd chased a legend off his own land. Across town, Malik wasn't wallowing. He was at his place, a brick ranch he'd gutted and rebuilt, stirring mac and cheese for his daughter. Zoe Dawson, 9 years old. Braids. Minecraft obsession. Daddy, you look grumpy, she said, snagging a noodle. He forced a grin. Just a long day, Peanut. How's your castle coming? She rambled about creepers. But his sister, Hoshi, wasn't fooled. She'd swung by for coffee and caught the storm in his eyes. Talk, Zay. You're too quiet. He sighed, told her about Claire, keeping it short. But Hoshi's fist hit the counter. She called you what? A Victor ass? Malik shook his head. She's new. Probably freaked out. I'll deal. Ella scoffed. You're too damn soft. She needs to learn. He didn't argue, just flipped the stove off. But her words stuck. Soft or not, he felt the bruise. He thought of his dad, a welder who'd come home with stories of clients refusing to pay, calling him boy at 50. Malik had vowed to build something untouchable. Houses, a name, a legacy for Zoe Dawson. Yesterday, that vow cracked. He didn't sleep much. Just stared at the ceiling, the hum of crickets mocking his calm. Morning broke gray, rain threatening. He dropped Zoe Dawson at school, her backpack bouncing, then headed to the rental. He didn't expect Claire to be there, figured she'd hide at a cafe. But her car sat in the drive. Curtains twitching. He parked, grabbed his ladder, and started on the gutters, metal scraping loud enough to wake the dead. Claire heard it. Heart slamming, she peeked out. Saw him, flannel, jeans, boots caked in mud, and felt like she'd swallowed glass. Hoshi barked, tail thumping. Claire hushed her, grabbing the leash like a shield. She stepped onto the porch, voice small. Malik. He glanced down, face unreadable, wiping grime off his hands. Yeah. She forced the words out. I'm Claire. I was horrible yesterday. I didn't know who you were, and I assumed the worst. I'm so sorry. Her eyes stung, but she held his gaze. Malik climbed down slow, his silence a blade. Appreciate the apology, he said, voice flat. But I'm curious, what did you think I was doing? Stealing your welcome mat? Claire's breath hitched. I thought you were trespassing, or worse. I don't know why. Malik's laugh was bitter, sharp. Trespassing? On my own damn porch? With a wrench in my hand. She nodded, tears spilling now. I know it's awful. I was wrong. I panicked and I didn't see you. He crossed his arms, leaning against the ladder. You didn't see me, or you saw what you wanted to. Big black guy. Must be trouble, right? The words landed like blows, not loud, but heavy. Claire's voice broke. I don't know why I thought that. I'm trying to figure it out. I feel like garbage. Malik studied her, saw the shake in her hands. The raw guilt. He could have torn deeper. Part of him wanted to, but that wasn't his way. Look, he said, softer but firm. I've been dealing with this my whole life. People looking at me and seeing a problem. Yesterday wasn't new, but it hurt worse. 'Cause this is my place. I built it. And you didn't even ask who I was. Claire wiped her face, nodding. I get that now. Is there anything I can do to fix this? Malik exhaled, long and slow. Stay here. Live your life. But think about why you jumped there. Not for me, for you. That kind of reflex? It'll burn you again. She swallowed. Thank you for not hating me. He gave a half smile, not friendly, but real. I don't hate people for screwing up. Just don't make it a tradition. Then he climbed back up. Hammer tapping. Done talking. Claire retreated, legs like jelly. She sank onto the couch, Hoshi's warmth grounding her. She'd braced for rage, maybe a lawyer's letter. Not this. His calm made her feel smaller, but also like she could climb out of the hole she'd dug. She grabbed a notebook, started scribbling. Why did I assume? What's in me that saw danger? It wasn't answers, but it was honest. A crack in her old self. Malik finished the gutters as rain began to spit. His flannel damp, but his focus iron. He checked his phone. Text from Rhonda Ellis. A reminder about Zoe Dawson's science fair. A tenant's complaint about a sticky door. Normal life pulling him back. He glanced at the house. Saw Claire's silhouette, head bowed like she was praying. He didn't pity her, didn't resent her, just hoped she'd listen to herself. He'd had tenants like her. Urban transplants. Quick to flinch. Slow to learn. Some grew. Some bolted. Either way, he'd keep showing up. Fixing what broke. Because that's who he was. Word spread fast. Hudson's rumor mill didn't sleep. Rhonda Ellis told a friend at the bakery. By noon, the story was at the barber shop, the post office, the brewery. New girl cussed out Malik Dawson. Thought he was robbing his own house. Some laughed. Some seethed. At the diner, Malik overheard a waitress whisper. He gave her a look that said, "Drop it." She did. He sipped his coffee. Told Rhonda Ellis later. "Let it die. She's learning," Rhonda Ellis snorted. "You're a saint, and it's annoying." He grinned. But it didn't reach his eyes. Claire felt the town's pulse shift. A cashier gave her a side eye. A neighbor's hello was frosty. She didn't blame them. She kept unpacking, but the house felt like it was watching her, judging. That night, she called her mom, voice cracking as she spilled it all. "I was that person, Mom. The one who doesn't think." Her mom was quiet, then said, "Fix it, Em. Not with words. With how you live." Claire hung up and spent hours online, digging into bias, history, stories like Malik's. It wasn't comfortable. Articles on profiling. Videos of black men stopped for looking suspicious. She saw herself in the patterns and hated it. But she kept reading. A week later, Malik was back, swapping a porch bulb that flickered. Claire was home, Hoshi's leash in hand. She waved, tentative. He nodded. No tension, but no warmth. "Bulb's fixed," he said, packing up. She blurted, "I'm trying, to understand why I did it." He paused, toolbox half closed. "Good. Keep going." It wasn't absolution, but it was enough. She walked Hoshi, noticed kids playing soccer. A black girl, Zoe Dawson's age, scoring a goal. She wondered if it was Malik's daughter, and felt a pang for not knowing. November came, cold snapping through the valley. Claire settled in. The house. Hers, but not fully. She found Malik's touches everywhere. A shelf he'd reinforced, a window he'd resealed. She called once, nervous about a creaky floorboard. He showed up, fixed it in silence, and left with a simple "take care." She started small. Bought coffee at a black-owned roastery. Tipped heavy. Listened more. At a farmer's market, she overheard a woman praise Malik, raided my barn. Didn't overcharge. Claire smiled, said nothing, and carried the story home. Zoe Dawson asked Malik about it one night, poking at her piece. "Did someone yell at you 'cause you're black?" He froze, fork midair. "Yeah, baby. Sometimes people get it wrong." Her brow furrowed. "That's dumb." He laughed, real, for the first time in days. "Real dumb. But we keep going." Ella, over for dinner, wasn't as forgiving. "You should have made her sweat, eh?" He shrugged. "She's sweating plenty." He didn't tell her how he'd driven past the house at dawn, not to check on Claire, but on the place itself, making sure it stood strong, despite the insult. By December, Claire was different. Quieter. Sharper-eyed. She joined a local discussion group. Not to preach, but to learn. Older folks shared Ashford scars, redlining, old slights. She listened. Spoke once, raw. "I judged someone I shouldn't have. I'm here to do better." They nodded. No coddling. But they didn't shut her out. She wrote Malik a letter, pen shaking. "For the house. For not crushing me. For being bigger than my mistake. I'm still unraveling it. But you made me want to." She left it in the mailbox, heart pounding. Malik found it, read it by lamplight. Zoe Dawson's snores drifting down the hall. He didn't tear up. Didn't grin. Just nodded. Tucked it in a drawer with his dad's old tools. "Keep unraveling," he muttered. And meant it. Spring hit. Claire's lease neared its end. She'd landed a big client. Could have stayed, but felt pulled to Connecticut, closer to her sister. Before leaving, she asked Malik to meet. No pressure. Just coffee on the porch. They sat. Hoshi sprawled, steam rising from mugs. This place broke me open, she said. You did. He sipped, calm. You broke yourself. I just didn't close the door. She laughed. Real, true. How do you keep going when people see you wrong? He looked at the street. A kid's bike wobbling past. My girl. My family. They're why I show up. The world's messy, but they're clear. She nodded. Carried that weight when she packed her car. Malik rented the house to a teacher. No fuss. Rhonda Ellis ribbed him. You're too good, Dawson. He snorted. Just a guy with a wrench. But he felt steady. The driveway fading like a bad dream. He took Zoe Dawson to a carpentry workshop. Laughed when she drilled a wonky hole. Life spun on. His rhythm, unbroken. Claire, in Connecticut, started a newsletter. Small. Honest. About blind spots. Growth. Towns like Ashford. She didn't name Malik. But he was there, in every line about facing yourself. She hoped he'd know. Hudson didn't transform. Gossip cooled. New dramas flared. But Malik's name held strong. The man who built homes. Raised a kid. Didn't flinch. At the diner, folks clapped his shoulder. Meant it. He didn't need their nods. Never had. Just kept his boots on. Tools ready. Claiming his ground, one fix at a time. This is a raw and honest story for anyone who's ever been misjudged or brave enough to own their mistakes. If it resonates with you, hit like and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment with your own story. What have you faced and what have you learned? Subscribe for more real truths, ones that cut deep but lift you higher. Let's start the conversation.